Ray is 41 years old. Good job, steady income, 2 kids in elementary school, a house with a mortgage he's been chipping away at for 8 years. By every visible measure, Ray is doing fine. But here's the thing that keeps him up at night. He's been earning $80,000 a year for over a decade. That's nearly $1 million in gross income over 12 years. And when he sits down one Sunday night and actually adds up what he has to show for it, the savings, the investments, the net worth, the number on the screen makes him feel like he's been robbed. He hasn't been robbed. Nobody took his money. He spent it. All of it. Normally. Reasonably. The way everybody does. And that is exactly the problem.
My name is Roku, and I've spent way too much time thinking about why hard-working people with decent incomes arrive at their 40s and wonder where the last decade went financially. It's not laziness, it's not stupidity, it's one invisible pattern, and once you see it, you will never look at your monthly expenses the same way again. If that sounds like a conversation you need, hit subscribe. Let's get into it. To understand what happened to Ray, you need to picture his life from the outside. He wakes up at 6:30, coffee before the kids are up, drop-offs by 8, at his desk by 8:45. He works in project management at a mid-sized company. Not glamorous, but stable. He's good at it. He's been there 9 years. He got a few raises, nothing dramatic, but consistent. His wife, Dana, works part-time as a dental hygienist. Together, they bring home around $95,000 after tax. They are not frivolous people. They don't take extravagant vacations. They drive reasonable cars. They don't have a boat or a second home or a closet full of designer clothes. They eat out maybe twice a week. They subscribe to a few streaming services. They bought new furniture when the old stuff wore out. Normal, responsible, completely ordinary. And yet, at 41, Ray has $31,000 in his 401k. He has $4,200 in savings. His home equity is about $38,000. Total net worth, roughly $73,000. After 12 years of earning, after nearly $1 million flowing through his hands, $73,000. He stares at that number on a Sunday night, and something cold settles in his chest. Not panic, not drama, something worse. Quiet.
Ray doesn't spiral. He's not that kind of man. Instead, he does what he does at work when something isn't adding up. He opens a spreadsheet. He goes through 12 months of bank and credit card statements. Something he has never done before, not completely, not honestly. And here is what he finds. The gym membership he barely uses, $49 a month, running for 4 years without a second thought. That's $2,352 gone. 3 streaming services, one of which nobody in the house has opened in 5 months. Combined, $47 a month. Over 3 years, $1,692. The car he upgraded 3 years ago because the old one was getting old. It had 67,000 miles on it and ran fine. New payment, $490 a month versus the $0 he was paying before. Over 3 years, $17,640 in payments on a car he could have kept avoiding. The subscription boxes, the food delivery markups, the extended warranties on appliances that never broke, the premium phone plan with features he doesn't use, the golf membership he renewed out of habit the last 2 years without playing once. None of these feel like mistakes in the moment. That's the point. Each one made sense when it started. Each one was affordable. Each one was just normal.
But when Ray adds them up together across 12 years of equivalent behavior, he lands on a number that stops him cold. Somewhere between $1,100 and $1,400 a month, every month, for years, bleeding out quietly through expenses he barely noticed. He sits back in his chair. He's not angry. He's something harder to shake than angry. He finally understands. Here's where Ray's story stops being about feelings and starts being about math. Because the problem isn't just that Ray spent that money. The problem is what that money could have become. Let's run it honestly. Take $1,200 a month, a conservative middle of his estimate, redirected into a simple index fund earning 7% annually. Standard long-term market average, nothing exotic. After 10 years, approximately $207,000. After 20 years, approximately $613,000. After 30 years, over $1.2 million. From $1,200 a month, money that was already in his hands, money he earned, money that left without a fight because he never watched the door. A 7% annual return on $207,000 generates roughly $14,500 a year on its own. That's a monthly passive income of over $1,200, the exact amount that created it, showing up without Ray working a single extra hour. His money compounding in silence, eventually producing a copy of itself every single year. Instead, that money bought gym visits he didn't take, shows he didn't finish, a car payment on a car he didn't need, and a golf membership that went unused for 24 consecutive months. This is not a story about lattes. This is not stop buying coffee and retire rich. This is about the systematic, invisible, completely normalized hemorrhage that happens when nobody is watching the door. And almost nobody watches the door. Here's the part Ray didn't expect to find when he started digging. It wasn't random. Every single one of those expenses followed the same pattern. It started as a deliberate choice, it became a habit, and then it became invisible. Behavioral economists have a name for this: passive spending, the psychological shift that happens when a purchase stops requiring a decision, the moment your gym membership stops feeling like a choice and just feels like a bill, the moment the streaming service stops being something you picked and starts being something that simply exists. Research from the University of Michigan found that the average American household carries between 12 and 15 recurring monthly expenses they could not accurately name or price from memory. 12 to 15. Things they agreed to pay for every single month that they can't even recall signing up for. That's not overspending, that's financial autopilot. And financial autopilot left unattended is one of the most effective wealth destruction mechanisms that exists because it never triggers a single alarm. You don't feel it, you don't see it, you just slowly wonder year after year why the number never moves. Ray felt that wonder for 12 years. Now he finally had his answer.
The Sunday night Ray finds his number, something changes. Not dramatically, not with some grand declaration or a vision board on the wall. He cancels the gym membership. He calls the phone carrier and drops to a lower plan. He lets 2 of the 3 streaming services lapse. He lists the subscriptions he's keeping and puts a quarterly calendar reminder to review each one. Then he opens an investment account. He sets a $900 automatic transfer for the first of every month. Not the full $1,200, he's realistic about the transition, but $900 automatically moved before he can spend it into a simple index fund. He doesn't tell anyone. He doesn't post about it. He just closes the laptop and goes to bed. That is the whole night. And here's what that quietly looks like over time. At 7% annual returns, $900 a month over the next 20 years, Ray is 41 now, so this takes him to 61, grows to approximately $472,000. Combined with what he already has in his 401k, growing at the same rate for the same period, he's looking at somewhere between $680,000 and $750,000 total by retirement. Not generational wealth, not a private jet, but enough. Enough to retire without fear. Enough that Dana never has to worry about the bank statement again. Enough that the quiet, cold feeling on Sunday nights gets replaced by something else entirely. And all of it built not from a raise, not from a windfall, not from some side hustle that consumed his evenings, but from money that was already his. Money that was already there every single month. He just had to stop letting it leave.
Here's what I want you to do after this video. Not tomorrow, tonight. Open your last 3 months of bank and credit card statements and add up every recurring charge, every subscription, every membership, every automatic renewal. Don't judge any of them yet, just find the number. Because the number is almost certainly larger than you think, and the math on what that number could become sitting in a simple index fund for the next 20 years is almost certainly larger than you're comfortable with. Ray didn't need a second income. He didn't need a hot stock. He didn't need to work harder or sleep less or grind longer. He needed to watch the door. The money was already there. It had been there for 12 years. And the version of Ray who figures this out at 41 is in an entirely different life at 61 than the version who finds this spreadsheet at 53. The math doesn't care how you feel about it. It only cares when you start. I'm not a financial advisor, and nothing in this video is financial advice, just patterns I've watched play out with real numbers attached. Drop a comment telling me what your number was when you actually looked. I read every one. And if you want to know exactly where to put that money once you've freed it up, the step-by-step order that maximizes every dollar, that video is on the screen right now. Go watch that one next. I'll see you in it.